Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness. We're not going to do breath work again this episode yet. That's okay. All right, guys, welcome back. We are here collecting consciousness. Another episode, another dive. Here with the wisdom to share. This is our series of human design. And last week, if you haven't checked out last week's episode, I would highly recommend going in and seeing what we talked about. We talked about manifestors, we talked about generators, and we talked about manifesting generators. It was a really fun one. So if that's your energy type, I'd highly recommend going back and looking back at that. But today's episode, we are going to be talking about projectors and reflectors. My name's Courtney, and that's Bethany, and we are here to transcribe and get the info out. So let's dive into it. So I was just saying to Bethany that reflectors is not an energy type that I've ever encountered. They are the rarest of the population. They are 1% of the population, and I found it interesting learning about them because they remind me very much of projectors. So it'll be a nice little tie-in with today's episode. Reflectors are extremely dependent on the energy around them. They have all open centers in their chart. So if you look at your chart, you'll notice like there's centers that are closed in with color, then there's ones that are just white. So a reflector's energy is all open. So that means that their energy is not consistent. So their energy can be influenced. Their energy is influenced by the environment, by people all around them. But the beauty of reflectors is that they amplify. They amplify the energy, and they are natural mirrors. So when you are in an environment with a reflector, they are going to mirror to you the tone, the attitude, the physical being of yourself. And they are filled with knowledge and wisdom and insight. And reflectors are meant to be recognized for that wisdom, that insight. But not always do people see them. So they need to pay attention, if you're a reflector, to pay attention to what does your environment look like? Are you drained? Is it toxic? Is it negative? Is it positive? Is it uplifting? Are you recognized? These are really, really, really beautiful indicators if you're living in alignment or if you're living in misalignment. And I'm just going to go into the signature theme. So the signature theme for reflectors is surprise. Mm-hmm. So life is meant to be like awe and wondrous for them. They are meant to have a life that is like ever changing. It's like beautiful things are coming. And when they come in and see these beautiful things, this gives them knowledge. This gives them wisdom. Oh, they see things that are not giving them that same thing. Oh, this is a wisdom. Hey, don't stay here long. This is not the way for you. And then the not self theme is bitterness. So if you're not recognized, if the environment is creating this like resentful bitterness type of frustration, again, misalignment for not being in your design. Did you want to jump in right now, Bethany, or you want to keep?
One thing I just I guess I'll expand on that I thought was interesting, or just to talk about with the energy, is like, it's not that you have no energy. Like, it's right. That you're just like a totally like lacking energy being. You just walk around in a slump all day. Like, you have your own natural energy, like your own, because you have all your gates and your channels that make you also uniquely you. But yeah, you snack on like other
Yeah.
people's energy. Like that's
Yeah.
I read that somewhere. I was
Yeah.
like, you're just like sampling and snacking on, other
Right.
people's energy.
Testing out the
And
environment.
yeah, yeah. So you just, and I think with that, like being mindful totally of, what doesn't resonate with you. And because if not, then like that's just going to drain your battery instead of
Right.
lift it up. Similar to a projector, I would say where we take on different energy centers as well, and maybe different situations can if it's not the right fit, can drain
Right.
quicker.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's really important to pay attention, especially for reflectors, to pay attention to, yeah, the environment. And then speaking on your environment, I mean, it's you really want to be the curators, like more than like any other person, energy type, whatever. You want to curate. So like um, if you're gonna own a business or a coffee shop, like you want that space to be fully curated by you. So when you show up there, like everything in that space really is a reflection of
Amplifies
what you
you.
love. Yeah, like things
Yeah.
that you totally, and your home. I mean, I guess just be as simple as your
Hmm.
home, like
Yeah.
everything in your home. Really don't allow things into that space that don't resonate with you. Like keep it very true to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I like that. I like that. Pointing in that there's still like the non-energy type, because I remember that always used to throw me off back in the day when I was first learning about human design. Projectors, non-energy types. I'm like, what do you mean I don't have energy? Like, so
Right.
I like that little clarification. Also, when you're decision making, they say that reflectors need to wait a full lunar cycle. So like it's like, because you need to, like you said, sample, taste, this works, that doesn't work, oh here, no, this. So big decision making, really give yourself that full month to experience the highs, the lows, the what was the word I wanted, can't get it, but anyways, just allowing the clarity, allows you to get the clarity to come through by allowing yourself to see all spectrums of the coin. Um, and so there was something.
One thing I want to say just real quick about the
Yeah,
lunar
yeah.
cycle is it's not like eons. I think like when I read that, I felt like, oh my God, that's such a long time. But it's like it's 28 days. It's almost a month. So like give
Mhm.
yourself quite a few weeks to like really just sit in whatever decision you're trying to make and really,
Yeah,
like Courtney said, go through the spectrum of emotions and thoughts and,
yeah.
whatever comes to you that helps you gain the clarity. Yeah, to
Right, yeah, because
decision.
and that is their like that's their strategy. Their strategy for human design. Wait for that lunar cycle, because you, like it says. I mean, I'm not going to go into that because there's what we just said, but it's a it's a good spectrum just to really get all sides. There is no inner authority,
Mm-hmm.
but again, their authority is the moon cycle. So it kept coming back to moon cycle, lunar cycle. Wait those 28 days. Like that's your authority. You don't have like a specific, but it's like no. The moon is, and yeah, they. I liked the how it talks about their open aura. Their aura is open and penetrative, so it allows them to like hone in. It allows them to see things like really fucking deeply. They can like be penetrative and then boom, amplify that energy of others. And it is just like, it's a really great mirror for people. So if you're around a reflector and you really want to see and you want them to see you, just like be in their energy and see what they have to show back to you. Because they're natural mirrors to give you that amplification.
And also like just one thing I want to like just touch on it, like they're actually like reflectors are like the knowers. They're like they're full of like knowing the wisdom, knowing how things are like operating on the planet. They can get the real they can get the real sense of what the climate is like in humanity, like what's going on. Like if a reflector
Yes.
is feeling off or like their health is bad, like it's a
Right.
reflection of humanity at a whole.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're like they're like the shamans, they're the sages, they're like the really wise people. And projectors, like we are truly the seers. We're the ones that are like, we can see it. This is how it's supposed to go. So
Yeah.
like I would say like, lean on your reflector too, in the sense of like a knowingness. Like they will know you. Like they might come up to you and be like, I know you're meant to be this
Mm,
X, Y, and Z. Like I know it. Like this is what
trust
I
it.
know, like this is and so yeah, that's what I got from reading about them, which I thought was really
I
cool
like it.
because I was like, wow, they're like the oracles of the world is what I wrote down. They're
Yeah.
like the oracles
Well,
of the world. Yeah.
yeah, and I like that because like they did talk so much about environment, community, like their key role models in the community. What I wrote, they're the barometers of
Mm-hmm.
like how the environment is. So like you said, it's like if you're not feeling well, boom, that's an indicator. Oh, this community is really like lacking. That's an indicator that something is misaligned here, that there's something that they're like the health of the community is at risk. So it's like really step out and try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I like that. Yeah, so they're incredibly insightful. They see both strengths and weaknesses of people really easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here, if a reflector is not thriving by the indication of that environment, there is disharmony. I really want to meet a reflector.
I know. Okay, so I used
I
to
was gonna.
listen to a podcast with a reflector. Her and
Oh,
her dad
cool.
were a reflector.
Oh,
It's called the
fun.
Balanced Blonde podcast. And
Cool.
it was like way back in my early podcasting days. And I just loved, like, she talked about everything. And one thing I will say about her that's very cool, and this is very true, and I didn't realize until I was researching reflectors, they're not meant to like live by a label. Like they could never be just like one thing. Like you're meant
Right,
to be
because
like
they're just
this.
sampling all these things.
Yeah. So like one thing I feel with her is that is very true. Like she was just always like into this, into that. She'd
Amen.
be talking about this, talking about that. Like all just totally
Fun.
like you couldn't label her podcast necessarily as like one thing or the
One
other.
thing. And
So
well, that's what I wrote. It's ever changing. They're ever
yeah.
changing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
it's
that's
very,
fun.
if you all want to listen to a reflector and just like, she's got a bunch of episodes about human design because she went down the rabbit hole. So she's, yeah, Balanced Blonde podcast.
Cool. I'm gonna check that out because I was gonna be like, type on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do I know any reflectors in the house?
And
Like this is
Sandra Bullock
oh
is a
really?
reflector. Yeah.
Really interesting. Cool.
Celebrity tip.
Cool. Also, celebrity tip. I lived in the same city as her. She went to ECU. She worked at Cubby's.
No way.
She was a waitress at Cubby's, and she was in her last semester, and she quit and fucked off to Hollywood.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, I think she made the right decision. Um,
Oh my God.
oh, cool. Okay, Balancing Blonde, you said?
The Balanced Blonde. Yeah.
The Balanced Blonde.
Balanced
Okay,
Blonde.
I really want to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check my notes real quick.
And
Reflectors.
oh yeah, what you got?
No, I was just saying reflectors seem fun.
I know I have one other thing to say about
let's hear it.
that. Like they absolutely love human connection and you actually need it. So like don't avoid people. Don't think that you need to retreat from people. Like you actually need connection, but I think it needs to be the right connection. But
right.
You desire that. And like, one thing I noticed about her just from like observing her social media and like just like the Balanced Blonde I'm talking about in the podcast. If you go into her social media, like you see how she curates a lot of her environments. Like
Fun.
she definitely like knows what she wants, how she wants it. Like, she's had quite a like significant health journey too with like Lyme's disease and stuff. And like with all of that, so much wisdom, so much knowingness, that I always sensed from her. That was really interesting and very cool. And now that I know that, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. And she does have like a ton of people in her life. So I think like these people, like they have lots of people like around.
Well, community. It kept saying community, environment. They are the impact in the environment. So that would make complete sense. Mm-hmm. And to add on to yours, sometimes reflectors can feel lost or confused because like they're not recognized or they're misunderstood. So they have to And like, because like their centers are also open, like they're amplifying, they're sampling from all these different energies and people, clear boundaries, clear practices that get you back in your own energy, and like really, really, because, and it's interesting too, because like my energy, all my centers are open except the top three. So like I also feel very like ample, like I was like, oh, interesting, that's like all that amplification, that penetrative type of energy. It all makes so sense why you can, I can see people very deeply. B, reflectors can, like, there's that's they can see people deeply because we're sampling. So I would say in the same sense, I'm sampling all those as well. So I thought that was a really just like a cool, interesting way to look at it, but also knowing that, okay, because there's all this openness, we need to really give yourself time, space to just be in your own space.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Boundaries. Go listen to episode 5 or 6 if you want to learn about boundaries.
I think it was 5. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one we've often, gone back to or referred back to. Listen, boundaries are important.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. That's fun. Reflectors, very fun. I'm definitely going to check her out. I'm going to go check her Instagram because I want to see what she's curating.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a reflector, please reach out to us. We want to meet the reflectors. We want to see you guys.
Do you want to know a really crazy fact too about her? Her and her dad are a reflector.
I know. Well, when you said that, I was like, fuck, how that's cool.
Yeah. Like 1%,
rare.
and they're both like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see what 2 reflectors are like together.
Yeah.
Because like, just like, are they seeing the same thing? Do they have is there, I mean, I guess that's where the channels and gates come through that create that uniqueness of like individuality, but I'm wondering if they are picking up the same sort of things, and are reflectors kind of meant to be solo people in the, like, like going back to like the shamans, are they meant to be like the ones that are really leading one community, where, you know what I'm trying to say?
I think so, yeah. And I think it's also, though, a liken to being around like Jonah and you, and like possibly if we knew Iggy's, information, being around the 3 of you, you all have very similar tendencies, especially because you're all the same energy type, and then you all have the same profile. So
that's right.
We don't know about Iggy, but
honestly, like it's pretty clear.
It's hard not to. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I was like, there's the hermit.
Yeah, it's hard not to pretend we know, but like, anywho, so I think I'd liken it to something like that. Is like it probably feels like 2 very similar people, but like with their own inner workings, and like if they had, I think she has a 2, if I remember correctly, because she does really respect her hermit. Like she definitely like takes her rest, and she's very respectful of that. I do remember that a little bit about her. Anywho, so I think it probably likened it to something about like being around like just the same people, and they're just like,
and you would recognize them. Like I think when that's the thing about projectors, is like when we recognize each other, it's just like a piece. It's like I'm seen, and I don't even need to like, they just see me, and I'm going to let them do their thing because they have gifts that are meant to be shared. But leading into that, let's go into the projectors. 20% of the population. We've got 2 right here.
Yep, right. And we know quite a few more.
We know a lot of projectors. I'm a mental projector. You are splenic. Yeah. All right.
Is it splenic or energetic? I don't remember.
Well, you have a splenic authority. You have
splenic authority.
Yeah, I thought you had a splenic authority.
I do.
I have a mental authority.
Okay, mental authority.
Yeah, but there are, like, I didn't go into the detail with it, but there are classic projectors, there's mental projectors, and then there is the energy, the one that you are. Yeah.
So with the mental, and the classic projector, like, do they have, because I know for me, like what makes me more of an energy projector is when you look at the chart, I have more colored defined centers in the lower half, and I
Don't
have
you have
less up on the top in my head.
So wait, say that again?
So in my chart, I have more defined lower centers.
Right.
I don't have the sacral, which would make me more of a generator,
Right.
manifestor, whatever. So I don't have the sacral colored, in defined, but I have more defined than you per se in your chart. Have more of your upper centers defined and less of the lower.
Yeah, and what ones do you have? Is it your throat defined? Do you know?
I think it is. Is that the Anja?
So Anja is in here. Anja is okay. Well, fuck. I don't want to say this because I can't quite remember the two. But there's the throat, and then there's the two in there. The where the third eye.
I think I have the third eye. I'd have to look at it. I feel bad. I have to look at it. Yeah.
Well, point being, I was just gonna. What I was gonna ask is, so like, if you have a clear cut in your throat, like if it's defined in your throat, you have a easy, that's where, you know how projectors have those right things to say, they have that wisdom to share. That would be like, so having a closed energy on the throat would mean that's where that free flowing words come out, because it's your consistent voice, it's your consistent energy, it is you that, and that's where that free flowing words come out. So that's just, I was wondering if maybe like you felt that in you with the words.
I feel that I do, though, from what I remember, and maybe my Anja is open, and that's why I'm trying to remember. There's a link between like your upper center and your sacral that gives you this like constant wanting to do thing, like to-do list. And I'm trying to remember the connection. But either way, we'll stay focused.
Yeah. The one thing I did want to say about that was, I think so, like with you, that's where you get that source of energy, where I have all that open in my chart. So it's not the same, but I have the 3 defined up top, and it's like, so that's where the mental comes in, is that you either have 2 or 3 of these defined up here.
Gotcha.
And so like with the mental, it's like I said, a soundboarding, like I'm meant to really, my mental, like this gives me all the clarity going inside my brain, gives me the clarity. And then when I really want to like hear it said out loud, so they even say for projectors to just like, if you have a voice memo and just speak out your thoughts, whatever you're really trying to work through, decision making, and then hear it back, and then you'll hear clarity with it. And also, like, I could be like, hey, Bethany, do you just want to listen to me talk real quick? And then I would just speak out loud, hearing what I'm saying, and then pick up what I need to do from that. So that's like where the mental projector is. But yeah, let's go into, I'll let you lead, Bethany.
Okay. Like, I don't have any of that written down. So guide me in the signature.
Okay, so the signature theme for projectors is peace, or sorry, success. Yeah, peace is the fucking manifesting generators or something. I can't remember.
Generators, I think.
Generators, and then manifesting generators, taking the both. Sorry, guys, we're all
we're not experts. We're just talking about it.
Yeah, but anyways, the signature is success. And then the not self theme is bitterness.
Yep.
So when we're in alignment, like things are going to feel successful. We're recognized. When we're feeling not recognized, when we're feeling misunderstood, that's where that bitterness comes in. And that's where you just like, they're key indicators. Like, just take note of what you feel like each day to day. When, you know, for me, I can say that like, I've realized that sometimes I'm speaking to the wrong room. And I used to feel so, oh man, why can't people see me? That's bitterness, you know, that's sadness. That's, you know, I'm not successful. But then it's like, when I like to think of like, oh, okay, I work from home now, and people come to me. People know people come to me for the things that, like, I don't have to be like, hey, over here.
Right.
They see me. So that's where success comes from, being recognized. And then the bitterness comes from being in the wrong room.
Yeah, I can identify with that because I have to say that I probably have my throat defined because I don't hold back a lot of the times what I want to say
Yeah.
about things.
So it's
And
like,
I often have like, yeah, like I feel like some bold things to say to people and about things and not even in like a mean way, just in a very opinionated, like this is my thought process on it and
Leo
I
energy
view
coming
it.
through.
Yeah. And I do identify with that bitterness where it just falls on deaf ears and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the fuck? You know, you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like,
No, no,
you
no.
get
I
that
feel
like
that.
energy of just like, okay, frustration.
Disappointment,
Yeah. Yeah.
frustration, disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And,
I could definitely identify with that hardcore,
and
hardcore.
I would say projectors have experienced that a lot in fucking life of like, because like they are natural born leaders. They are natural born insight, big picture thinkers. And like that's what our energy is like, not meant for us. It's meant for others. It's meant to help guide and lead others. And it's like, so I can say that projectors have often felt so misunderstood because it's like, for me, it's like, fuck, I'm like, oh, I have so much knowledge about like how to focus on self, take care of self, do the things for the body. And like, I just want everybody to know these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, this is so important. This is so beautiful. But it's like,
Oh, you froze. Oh, uh-oh. Let's give her just a second to come back. There are some storms passing over us, but oh, you
I'm
froze.
back.
You
I'm
good?
back.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Yep.
back. I was like, you went black screen. I was like, where'd she go?
Whoa, whoa. Crazy.
Yeah, but I think, where did I leave off, Bethany?
We were just talking about like having all these ideas, being the
Right, the
seers
natural
and
born leaders.
yeah, being the leader.
Yeah.
And
So
I
it's,
think, oh, go. Yeah.
go ahead. No, you go. You go. You go.
I was gonna say, I think like what falls in the next step with that is like, so you really have to wait for your audience, which is
Exactly.
the
The
hardest.
strategy.
It's a strategy that's the hardest thing to do, I think, is to
Yeah.
wait for the invitation. So you have all
Yeah.
these ideas, you have all this wisdom,
Yeah.
you see
Yeah.
the way that things could go, like, and it could happen on like a day-to-day basis, I feel like for us. Like, so you could be, watching somebody like struggle with like performing a task and you could be like, oh my God, I can see how this
Yes.
is so much better.
Yes.
But if
Yes.
you spew that, maybe that's their journey is to do that task that way. And if they don't want to know how to do it better and you just come in and you tell them how to do it better, then like they may get really mad at you. They may not want to
Yeah.
hear it. They may like, so that is the hardest
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
So
I
hard.
feel that. Oh, I
It's
feel
so
that. I
hard.
feel that. I feel that. But the thing with the waiting for the invitation, it's like you can also like, it's not that you have to wait for somebody to be like, hey, tell me this. Now that is one way. It's like when somebody recognizes that, oh, Bethany excels in this, Courtney excels in that. So let's ask them. But you can wait for nonverbal. So it's like when you see someone struggling, you could be like, start asking questions and getting them to like probe in their own empowerment.
Mm.
And so it's like, okay, you see them struggling and you do know a way that can be done very effectively. So you just like start thinking big picture on how you can help them, how you can guide them. But also, like you said, sometimes that's their journey is to learn that. But you can wait for it's not just like you have to wait for somebody to ask you. There's nonverbal cues, and you just then tap into like your thinking of like, okay, well, let's ask these questions that allow them to step into how they can do it for themselves.
Thank you for tuning in to Collecting Consciousness.
We're so grateful that you've been on this journey with us so far.
And we look forward to seeing where we are going to expand, curate, and collect.
So if you haven't already liked, subscribed, or shared our content, and you feel called to do so, we would so deeply appreciate it. From our souls to your soul, and our hearts to your minds. We are collecting consciousness.
Heck yeah.
Never thought of it that way. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah. It's all about like finding the right questions. Like
Mhm.
you know someone's struggling with their health, and yeah, you could have like all the fucking knowledge, but it's like give them their empowerment, but ask them, how would you do this, or do you like, just like finding the right questions is really big for projectors.
That's cool. I never thought of it that way. That's really
Yeah. I think, because again, we do have this fucking knowledge that we just want to like spew out. So it's good to not like, it's good to like see that there's other, like, it's not just like, oh, you have to wait. There's other ways, and that I think can become like a mastery of how you allow somebody to do their thing, but also allowing yourself to become recognized. Yeah, so their main gift, like their natural guides, their main gift is to see the potential in others and allow them and get them to achieve it. They are experts in understanding systems. Jeff popped through my mind when I read that. Yeah. The experts in systems, like there is a functional way to do things. There is a big picture thing. So experts in understanding systems, people, and strategies, they excel at offering advice and insight to help others succeed. Like we are meant to help people succeed in life, to guide them through it, to get them to generators and projectors work well together, because like generators are generating that energy, that force, and we are just here like guiding them, teaching them, advising them. And we have a keen awareness of energy patterns, and we are excellent at directing others to maximize the energy potential.
Yeah, I feel that.
And experts at how of things, whether it's a person's talents, their projects, or just like group dynamics, like how to do things is really good. And it's cool though when like I've been with other projectors where we're just like, we never have to wait for an invitation. We're just like, hey, like this is what I would do. And it's just it's so it's nice not to have to like, when somebody is going to recognize you, like maybe they won't do it that way, but they're also open to just knowing that that's what this person, like allowing their gifts to shine. Like we are insightful beings that are meant to lead. So when somebody can just be like, oh, look at her doing her thing, look at him fucking showing up in his mastery. Like it's nice when there's that like gentle ease of just like, you don't have to really say, like waiting.
Yeah. It's interesting because you mentioned Jeff, who's our friend, and he's building a house with us, and he's like the main contractor. And we haven't done his human design, but I have to guess that he's a projector. Yeah. And it is like, so me and then my husband Joan is a projector, and then Jeff, and us three working together. It's so interesting that you say that we're all receptive to the feedback, because we all are like. And another thing I guess I'll say about that is just like when you are working on something together and you're all projectors, let me tell you, you're searching for the flow. Like in a project or a situation, we're all like, so for example, we just hung sheetrock this weekend, and like we all knew that once we found our flow, like
it'd be done. Yes.
Like, we all knew there was a flow, and we were just gonna find it, and like and all of us like see how it could like flow back.
Who found the flow?
I think the coolest thing is we all just step into our own.
Yes.
So it's like we don't even, not one person comes up with the flow, but like everybody finds their position in the flow, and then it just flows. And you're like, okay, that's my job, this is your job, and then like it's amazing.
And it's funny you said that, because I wrote something about like projectors just being able to see that flow. Like it truly is. It's like, because we see big picture, we see this goes here, like how to do things. This thing can work well here, that can work here. Oh, that's fun. And it's
being fun. A couple steps ahead. Like so like I'm sitting there while they're like screwing in the sheetrock, and I'm like, okay, I could be doing this to help the next step. So like I'll go
right. Yes.
Another profession that your dad is or was being a surgical technician for like in the OR. So you're the one handing the doctor the instruments. Like you have to be 2 steps ahead to be a good surge tech.
Right.
If you want to be a good surge tech, you want to be a couple steps ahead. So I always relate like what I'm doing on the job site to being like the surge tech to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
I'm just a surge tech. I'm like, I want to be a couple steps ahead. Like, so I'm always thinking a couple steps ahead, trying to like figure out where we're going next, how I can prepare. So it's like it's
the how-to,
because we do zoom out and we're like able to see it, and we like doing that. Like, I find that I do that all the time. I'm always trying to do next step. Yeah.
This is what I wrote. I said, so like projectors lead through their wisdom, their insight, their guidance, and they direct energy where it is needed most. You know, so like you being the 2 steps ahead, you're like, oh, I see that we need to go here at this moment while Jeff is doing this. And even like me coming to your guys' house, I saw that there was things that needed to be done, like just by observing, and I tapped in and I flowed in and I made that flow. And you were like, Court, that's exactly how I wanted it. So it's like, that's where we have that really keen, intuitive sense that we like, because our energy is penetrative too. It's like our aura is penetrative. So we are meant to, we see people so deeply, so that we understand them like right from the get-go, just very much similar to reflectors. So it's fun to be like, but when you said that, like, that's something that stuck with me. You wanted it exactly how I wanted it. And I was like, cool. I was able to like give her what she wanted. And you really like, you wanted that. And it was also very funky. Like I put the tablecloths interestingly, and I put different candles all around, and it was like, it was fun. It was very fun. So that's fun. I'm just gonna keep saying fun. But it's like it's fun. There we go. It's interesting to see you and Jonah and Jeff doing the system, creating an efficient system, and it's boom, projector shining, where like recognizing the gifts, the abilities. This is what we need to do, and craftsmanship. It's a mastery. Projectors are meant to master their gifts. My mastery is my massage, my energy healing, my oracle reading, like my spiritual side of me. It's who I am. Like it's just it's my mastery of, like, when I think about myself, it's just like, that's where I'm meant to like lead and show people, is like how to really take care of self, how to honor self, how to let life flow with self. Like, I think my thing is mastery of self, self-care, self-love, and it's beautiful to shine in those gifts. And when I find something of new divination practices or new connections to the elements, I'm like, yeah, this is who I am. Like, this is just who I am. I am constantly being intentional. I'm constantly thinking of rituals. I'm constantly just doing these things because that's in my make, and I'm meant to show people those things. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think your mastery of a projector is?
I know, it's so funny when you said that. I was like, I'm not, I guess the obvious to me in a way is health, just overall physical health. I am just a nerd when it comes to that. I love learning about that stuff, and I love implementing. And then I would love to, I do feel like a missed boat happened a few years ago. And this is just, I guess, a vulnerable
with the yoga
share. No, being a nurse coach, a nurse health coach, taking that path. I think that would have been a really, so I guess I'll just share it from a place of that would have been a really suitable thing for a projector, because as I would be the one that had the knowledge that people would come to for coaching. So there's the invitation, and I'd be able to really hone in on A, clientele, B, what people I wanted to help, how I wanted to help them in the health world, instead of just continuing on a generic nursing track, just being a nurse, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Not knocking nurses, not knocking the profession. but I feel there was like probably a calling that definitely like ship sailed and like I didn't get on, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And that happened for many reasons, like insecurities and yeah, just mostly insecurities. So there, yeah. So that I feel like is where I love to. I mean, I have a solo episode waiting, just talking about like how we can be
I saw that
healthier,
one
how we can
yesterday.
choose our food, how we can be healthier, you know, what we put into our bodies and how much it matters. Like, I just really like that, like does light me up. And I feel very passionate about that. And maybe there'll be a time and
Yeah,
I think there's other things that I can be very into and very passionate about. So, you know, I'm just going to stay tuned to what comes my way. But I do think health and
that's what I was
huge,
seeing with
like
you.
physical body, like on that level is like I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah. You definitely geek out, science out on, I mean, even just you going back into when you were choosing courses for school and anatomy and physiology, like lit you up right from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say, like, do you feel like that ship is truly sailed? Like, is there a major regret? Is there, do you,
is there a major regret? I mean, I wouldn't say a major regret because who knows what that path would have brought me. So I can't fully be like, oh, I really missed out on like this.
Well, if it would have happened,
because,
Peter Crone.
Yeah, like what? Oh,
Peter Crone would say, you know, if it was going to happen, it would have happened then.
Yeah.
You know, like, so, you know, like when people say, oh, well, what if I went or what if I didn't go? You know, he's like, it didn't happen. So it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it still potentially could happen. The situation could happen again. But I just think that not that it's like gone forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it didn't happen, like my life is, you know, totally
over.
My life took so many turns since that like time period where I was considering that path. And so I can't even say that. I mean, I just feel that it was a ship that I could have gotten on and it probably would have been very successful. And it definitely, I think it has sailed and that's okay. Cause I'm in a different phase of life, even like altogether. Like I'm just totally like a different, I'm in like a totally different phase of life where like what I'm doing now as a nurse, like totally suits my lifestyle and I'm very happy with it.
Working from home is the dream.
Working from home and like, you know, so anyways, that was just a huge tangent, but
I like it. No, but I wanted to connect on that. And I actually saw your solo episode yesterday and I was like, we need to drop that.
Oh, so, I mean,
no, I didn't watch it yet. No, but I saw it and I was just like, we should drop that.
Yeah, totally. We should. I mean, it's there. It's just
it's there. Yeah. But it is interesting to the sense of like, having that knowledge, the success comes, like people will come to you, people want to know about there's an ignorance, there's just like an uneducation of sometimes people don't know where to go. So that's where we step in, projectors tap into their mastery. They have this wisdom, you know, do the things. You're not just waiting in a room. You're not just waiting in a room, waiting for people to recognize you. You are mastering your gifts. You are, you know, for me, again, like I'm mastering my oracle. I'm mastering my divination skills. I'm mastering when I'm just like here, I'm just learn, like I listen of things about how to connect even deeper intuitively, shit like that. It's like, that's me still doing. And then boom, like, you know, I may say something and then a friend may put out, oh, Courtney does this or Bethany does that. And then somebody else comes to you. It's like, these are ways to get recognized. So it's like, don't just like think that you have to wait in just like a waiting room. Master the things that really light you up because there is success in that mastery of skills. Like we are masters of skills. So really find those things that you're passionate about and really let that lead you because there's success in that. There is major success in that.
Do you feel like we touched on all the things?
Yeah, I do.
I think also an important thing to remember is if you are a mental or you are a classic projector, if you do your human design and you check out your chart and you have this energy centers that are defined in the upper portion of your chart, you will want to respect like the taking on of others' energies and resting more. Like
I was just gonna say that too.
And also like because the lower energy centers are not defined as much, like I know, for example, Jonah is my best example. My husband, like he will wake up in the morning, like projectors will wake up with a nice amount of energy, but that's all you have for the day. Like you don't get this endless supply. So like what you wake up with that morning, like you're eventually probably going to hit a wall a lot earlier than the rest of the people in the room if they're generators or manifesting generators or, you know, manifestors. You're going to hit a wall like pretty quickly. And when you hit that wall, you need to respect it, lay down, just take, you know,
rest and recharge is huge.
Rest and recharge. And like I will say though, and that's why I said just the mental and the classic, as an energy projector, I don't find that I have that same issue. Like I can, like Jonah,
you do.
He'll hit the wall, he'll be on the couch, like the past, you know, couple months when we've been working on the house on the weekends, like we hit the couch at night at 7:00, eat dinner, hit the couch. Jonah is snoring by 7:15.
By 8.
7:15, like within
Holy
5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, laying his head
I was
down.
saying 8:00. I gave him an hour.
Like laid his head down, and we might be like chit-chatting or whatever. I might put on a movie, and then like he's out within 5 minutes. And I will keep going until about 8:30, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Wow.
So
but also good too for him because he gets up super early to go to work too.
Oh yeah.
So it's like so he gets a good quality sleep.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I totally, now that I learned that, like I remember years ago when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, this is so great. Cause like we'd get done with yard work on like a Sunday and he'd go inside at like 3 and be done. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like
do your thing.
That's your energy type. I got it. Okay. I'm not going to take it personal. Like, cause before I might've got bent, like, come on, keep going. Like, cause I keep going.
Yeah.
And I now just need to learn that is just me. And then that's him and, you know, respect it. So
they also say projectors should sleep alone, you know, because we are getting our energy back. Like we are out with like all this like open energy as well too. So it's like getting that consistent energy for ourselves, getting you to sleep well by yourself. You know, being single now, there's a part of me that's like, I'm like, if I like when I get into a relationship, I'm like, oh my God, sharing a bed again, like sharing a room with someone. I would be interested what it would feel like for me. And being in tune to like, ooh, do I wake up? Do I feel like, what do I feel like when I wake up? And I did just want to say, projectors are not designed for full-time work. You know, that Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, even though projectors do it, we are meant to like, so you are going to find people in the line of work like me, where I treat so many clients a day. I'm like maybe 2 clients here in the afternoon, 2 clients here in the evening. It's not the rest and the recharge. Like we have to be mindful that we're not overexerting ourselves. We're not pushing ourselves. You know, if you can still go, like not pushing a projector to go beyond their means. Like let them sit out and rest. Like just respect that. You see that, you know, it's nice that you see that in Jonah and you can be like, oh, cool. He's doing what he needs to do because that's huge. Like that's a big thing for projectors is the rest and recharge.
And I would say just like wrapping it all up, like zooming out big picture, now that we've done all the energy types, like I think the coolest thing is just go find out your type and then go find out the people in your immediate family, go find out your children, like, and just, yeah, like we're saying, just start to respect people for who they are, how they are supposed to energetically show up in your life instead of trying to like put them into a mold and expect them to be a way that they're not meant to be. So I would just like say, you know, take whatever you got from this. Hopefully it sparks some curiosity in you, and you can go to mybodygraph.com for free and you can literally put in endless amount of people. I think I don't know, I'm not maxed.
Oh yeah, no, I have a lot of people. It's never ending, I don't think.
So you can just like put them in and it'll tell you, you'll get the actual like we're talking about the defined centers, like you'll get the image of the chart and then you'll get like the words of what it is, you know, the description. So it's really helpful, and I hope you all just go, you know, figure out those people in your life.
It's fun. Now, I do have one more thing to say about projectors.
Yeah.
Just one. But like, I don't think we really like said it, but Projectors also, like, really also, as like reflectors, pay attention to your environment, to the people, places, and things, because we are picking up that energy. And if it's draining you, if it's not making you feel lit up, there is meant to be a flow. So the environment also very much impacts projectors. So people, places, and things, pay attention to them. The environment is really going to shift you. And that's it. That's what I got.
Cool. So I should have asked you.
Yeah. No. It's totally cool. I that was the one you brought up, rest and recharge, and that was also on my mind. But this one was the one that I really wanted to talk about, because the environment. Sometimes people don't realize that the people, places, and things around them are what's draining their experience. So, I think it's all important information.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us for this little portion of the series. And we're going to come back and do one episode of the profile types. Or
we'll have a little chat about that. We're going to break that up, because there's like 6 different energies, or there's 6 different profile types. So I'd rather us, break that shit up. Okay. So we're going to take a little break for the holidays. And so we'll be checking back in the new year. Happy holidays if you celebrate Christmas and all that good stuff. And,
we'll see you
go enjoy it.
Year.
Bye, guys.
Bye.